People have asked me how I've won so many contests, so I'm giving you all of the tea in this video. The secret sauce. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Erin, and this is Erin On Demand, a place for entrepreneurs and content creators looking to build your brand, business, and impact. And y'all, today we are talking about how I've made over $200,000 in contests. Yeah, literally just random contests that I've either found or someone has sent to me because they thought it would be a good fit for me, and I applied and I won. So I want to share with you guys some of the contests that I have applied for. Some of them are recurring contests, so if I were you, I would definitely look into them. And then I'm going to share with you guys some tips on how to really make contest applications stand out. For quite a while, I wouldn't say I relied on contests, but I really made it my mission to just put myself out there. And I think that's why a lot of people weren't surprised when I started this YouTube channel, and also weren't surprised at the success of the channel, because I've always just been the type to kind of just throw myself into uncomfortable situations and just see what happens. With these contests, they've always been very public contests that if I don't win, then lots of people know about it. And if I do win, lots of people know about it. So I will say this. Contests, you can potentially make a lot of money by applying to contests, but I will also say this: it is not something that you want to hold your breath on. It's just like a wild gamble, okay? And if you win it, you're happy, and if you don't, you know, you kind of just can't think too hard about it. But I will let y'all know this, that there is a formula, I feel like, to winning contests. So I'm going to share with you guys the secret sauce that I've had, and I cannot tell you guys how many people have asked me about how I've won so many contests. So I'm giving you all of the tea in this video. So first, I just want to share a couple of the contests that I've won. I won tens of thousands of dollars in college scholarships, which I included in my over $200,000 total. But I'm gonna start with the things that I've won after I graduated. So I first won my job right out of college, the Young and Free Michigan spokesperson position, where I was basically a brand ambassador for this credit union, and it was the coolest job ever. But it was an intense competition. I had to submit a video, I had to submit an application, and I was competing with all of these cool creative people all around Michigan. So I ended up winning that job, and that paid $30,000. Plus, I was eligible and received a $5,000 bonus. So we'll just say that that contest won me $35,000, and it was a year-long prize. The second contest that I applied for was to become a guest co-host for Live with Kelly Ripa. My dad actually heard about this contest on the radio, and he was like, "Erin, I think you should apply. Like, you'd be so great." So literally on the deadline, I put together my application video and I submitted it, and I ended up making the top 100, then the top 50, then the top 20, then the top 10, and then I got cut. But I didn't receive compensation for it, but it just was a pretty big deal. I got so much exposure from that one contest. The next contest I won was with National Geographic. They did a nationwide call basically for their first ever digital correspondent. And they wanted someone who was going to be able to tell stories and travel and, you know, do all this cool fun stuff for Nat Geo. And so I applied for that, and then I got a call saying I'd made the top 3, and there were over 600 applicants for this dream job. And I went to New York, competed against the other 2 finalists, and I won. So I had to actually move back to DC to claim that prize, which was a 10-month contract working in this position. And that contest paid $90,000 over the span of the 10 months. It was good money, especially coming from my $35,000 job at the credit union. Okay, so the next contest I applied for was with this organization called the Kiefer Foundation, and they are all about helping eliminate distracted driving. They opened up a contest for anyone to submit a 30-second video on ending distracted driving. And so I literally submitted my 30-second video and I won $10,000. And then lastly, my most recent contest win was with the United Negro College Fund and My African Pride's Wear Your Crown with Confidence student loan forgiveness contest. And I didn't do a video for that one. I actually had to write an essay for that. And I won $29,000 worth of student loan debt forgiveness. So I have a whole video about how I became debt free by 25. So if you guys want to check that out, I will link it in the description box. So I've won quite a few contests, and you guys, I just want to share this too, that I have lost quite a few contests. So these are not all of the contests that I've applied for. I've applied for so many contests, but I have been very grateful to win a great amount of them. I literally applied for a Nikon contest, a Essence contest recently, and I didn't win them. But I will say this, I always bet on myself and I will always take the chance. And I'm going to get into some of the points that can hopefully help you if you stumble upon a video contest and you want to apply, but you want to make sure your application stands out. All right, so the first thing, it seems so self-explanatory, but the very first thing you need to do is read the rules. Like, you want to read these rules so thoroughly that you just know the rules, okay? The very first thing that I always do before I get excited about a contest is read the rules, because some of them may have age stipulations, some of them may have little clauses or relocations, especially for ones that are long-term, like the 2 positions that I won. So you want to make sure that you thoroughly read the rules. You thoroughly read what the prize is, the time limits, all of those things, which we will get into, but do not record anything without thoroughly reading the official rules, which are always going to be available if you are applying for a contest. Okay, so a lot of these tips are about following the rules that you will have read because you're gonna do step 1. But the second thing is to use the full amount of time. If they say you have 3 minutes to answer the question, who inspires you? Do not use 1 minute. You want to use all 3 minutes. I would say if they ask for 3 minutes, try to get it above 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Get it as close to 3 minutes as possible without going over. So you will not want to go over the time, even by a hair. Don't even go 1 second over. So anything that is going to off top prevent you from being qualified, you're going to want to avoid doing that. And a lot of times people just simply don't read the rules, or your video or your essay is entirely too short and it makes it seem like you didn't put a full amount of effort in. If they're gonna give you the amount of time, you need to figure out what to do to fill that time. The third tip is to answer the question. Answer it plain and simple. Do not try to dance around the question or to answer it in some fancy way to the point where they don't even really understand what your answer is. Most of these contests come with a prompt that they are going to want you to answer. So make sure you are very clear with your answer. The fourth thing is you need to tell a story. This is the part where you really can get the upper hand on a lot of other contestants, because some people will only answer the question and they won't really go into much depth on the why or the how. If you understand that from a judge's perspective, if I'm giving you 10 grand to win something, I want to know who you are, because this is a very small amount of time for me to trust that I can give you this prize and you are going to do what you said you're going to do with it. So the more that you can reveal yourself, be vulnerable in these, really tell a compelling, interesting, engaging story, the better position you are in. And this is the only thing that you have that's unique to you. You know, you may have access to a fancy camera, or you may be a great writer, but the thing that you have that literally no one else has, is your story. So you definitely want to capitalize on interweaving your story in there some kind of way. I don't care how crazy the prompt is. It can be, what superhero was your favorite childhood superhero? You need to answer that. It could be Superman, but then you need to tell them why when you were 5 you thought you were Superman, and how your daddy is Superman to you, and blah blah blah. Like, you need to give it some substance, because that is what they want. The second part of this point is to think of what everyone else is going to do or say, and then try your best to not do that. This is going to give your entry a lot more uniqueness, and it's going to really capture the judge's attention and their interest. So for example, for me, I did the Kiefer Foundation video was all about eliminating distracted driving. And about 90 to 95% of the videos were all of these like distraught like car crashes. So like they would do like this intense like car crash scene, and like someone died, or all these statistics on how many people die from distracted driving, which is true and it's heartbreaking. And I just didn't want my video to do that. I wanted to give people a different perspective and hope when it came to getting in your car. So for mine, I got a text message and I looked at it, and then my future flashed in my head. Like, I saw myself getting married, then I saw myself having a baby, and I saw myself buying my first house. And then it like went back, and the phone dinged again, and I was like, I clicked it off, and I said like, your future is waiting for you, or something. Because it's like, those are all of the things that I may not ever get to experience if I answer this text message. So giving it some perspective, that creativity is really going to come into play when you are answering the context of the contest entry. And you're really going to want to give it some good creative thought. The fifth tip is to share your impact, or the impact that winning this prize is going to make. So if they give you the opportunity to write, or if they ask you an open-ended question for the video that gives you an opportunity to tell them what this money or what this prize means to you and how you're going to use it, definitely make it very clear what that means. And I like to always share how I'm going to pay it forward, because a lot of these organizations don't want their prize or money to stop with you. They want to know what greater impact you are going to make on your community. So make sure that that's something you include as well. All right, number 6 is submit on time. I actually always usually submit the day that it's due. I just don't like to submit things too early, especially when they go live on the page. So a lot of contests will make the video entries go live on their website, and you can kind of see everyone who has applied. And I just don't want everybody seeing my stuff and like trying to jock off my creativity if I post mine like 2 weeks before the deadline. So I usually post closer to the deadline, but you're going to want to make sure you post on time, because if it is 1 second after the deadline, you are cut. Make sure you know the time zone of the deadline, because that can also jack you up. Number 7 is to pour your all into it. Do not slack off just because this is a contest and you haven't received the prize, or you're like, oh, my chances are low, but I'm still gonna apply. Pour everything you can into it. I'm telling you guys, when I have applied for these contests, even if I apply at the last minute, I'm giving it my all. And then I just leave it all on the table for whatever result happens. But there have been contests where I literally like have a videographer with me helping me, because it's just that serious. And when you go the extra mile and you make yourself look presentable and you add that creativity, you really like take it to the next level, those are the things that really make your application stand out. And then number 8 is to show your personality, okay? This is really what wins people over. And when you think about it, just know that the people who are watching your submission are people, okay? So they like to laugh. They want to smile. They want to feel something. And when you can get into the emotions of the judges, that is when you own to something, okay? So make sure you show your personality. Don't feel like you have to be so stoic, or even in your writing, give it some oomph. Have a great attention grabber. Have a great conclusion that ties in. I added a lot of personality into my essay, but I also always add lots of personality into my video content. So these things apply to both. Whatever the contest is, you're gonna wanna channel voice if you're writing, or personality if you are talking and doing a video. Even if your video quality isn't that great, if you shot it on your iPhone, if you can tell a good story and you have some personality, that is a winning combination. And you follow the rules. Like, those are the 3 tips that really mean the most. So yes, that is my secret sauce to applying to contests. This is literally exactly what I did to win the contests that I've won, and I am so thankful for all of the contests that I've won. And you guys, I'm not stopping. I'm always gonna apply to contests, because the way that I look at it is, it can take me a day or 2 of stress to actually do the application, and if I don't win it, it's like, whatever, like, it's not that big of a deal. But if I do win it, it's like, wow, I only put 2 days worth of effort into this, and the reward is so big. They are definitely well worth the time and the effort, but I would say make sure you put all of these tips to practice. All right, you guys, if you have any questions on video contests or any kind of contest and how to make your application stand out, and if you want to be a part of my internet home, all you have to do is subscribe. I upload every Wednesday and most Sundays, and we are all about owning our business, owning our lives, and owning our happiness. I share branding and entrepreneurship advice, so if that sounds like your jam, all you gotta do is join the fam. All right, you guys, I love you, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.